brings this up. All right, how's everybody? I got a little caught up in the discussion over at Izzy's place. So we will get started on the Tao Te Ching. I found these analysis on it. The Taoism of Lao Tzu explained by Stephen Stanud. So we'll see how this one goes. I just perused it a bit. So just cold. Yeah, it was freezing here this morning. It was 47 outside. So I'm sure you're much colder. Okay, chapter 4. Extremely short chapter. It is just 2 sentences. Mark J.H. How are you? Reversal is the movement of the way. Weakness is the usage of the way. All creatures under heaven are born from being. Being is born from non-being. So again, we have a religious text with a their God creating being out of non-being, coming from nothing and walking into something. So let's see what can be said about it. Lao Tzu returns here to the mysterious nature of the Tao, or the way. It's so vague and distant that we can only guess its existence by the deductions we make from observing the world around us. Sorry about that. I did not know what I did. It's the inner working of the universe, and probably, therefore, also the originator of it. Tao is the natural law by which the universe operates. Natural law has no form of its own, but governs all there is and never gets fatigued or diminished. Although it causes all the magnificence of the world we live in, it's infinitesimal, like the dust of the dust. This law that governs all can have no preference. It treats the biggest things the same as the smallest, none with less care to less care. To Tao, they are essentially the same. So we can see the parallels that Christianity, Judaism, um, Islam all have to this Eastern thought. Mountains, planets, galaxies, they all consist of atoms, which do in turn consist of particles so minute that their existence may never be confirmed. Since everything in the world consists of things small, the minute is closer to the nature of Tao. And since most things in the world go by unnoticed, the hidden is also closer to the nature of the Tao. Because Lao Tzu sees the way as the reason behind all, he concludes that it must have the most to do with the things that we regard as lesser. The big events are rare, while everyday proceedings take place constantly. The bigger the size of things, the fewer they are. So the way deals mainly with the small. We should ponder this so that we remember to pay the most attention to the things that seem to be the least significant. We can see this in life, as in everything we do, right? In relationships, the small things stick out to us the most, right? In work, the small things stick out to us. So there's definitely wisdom in this thought. We should ponder this so that we remember to pay attention to the things that seem to be the least significant. The most enduring powers in the world are those that stand out the least. Sharpness does not last, nor does the tightness of a knot or the brightest light. There's nothing that remains longer than its own dust. So, if we become like dust, we will prevail and will be in unison with Tao. That has not been the typical trait of mankind so far. Instead, we ravel at burning down forests to build temples and palaces, AWDs, drilling tunnels through mountains and changing the course of rivers. Ours is a noisy species. I'm gonna make a quick correction here. Oops. A vague deity. The last line of this chapter is the only clear occurrence of a divine entity in the Tao Te Ching. What I have translated as the ancestor of all is T, or D, who was the first and supreme god in ancient Chinese mythology. Uh-oh, Joey's gonna burn me for not doing that. Although D was indeed regarded as a creator god, Lao Tzu doubts that he predates Tao. Even a creator god must obey the natural laws that rule the universe, or it would not have come into existence. If it did, it would not have remained. Okay, let's hit chapter 5. The way gave birth to unity. Unity gave birth to duality. Duality gave birth to Trinity. Trinity gave birth to the myriad creatures. The myriad creatures bear yin on their backs and embrace yang in their bosoms. They neutralize these vapors and thereby achieve harmony. That which all under heaven hate most is to be orphaned, destitute, and hapless. Yet kings and dukes call themselves thus. Did Brick read this? Things may be diminished, but by being increased, by being diminished. Therefore, that which people teach after deliberation, I also teach people. I like this line. That which people teach after deliberation, I also teach people. So be taught so that you can teach, but you have to deliberate that which you have learned, so you can teach others. It's like I've read this many times, but every day I search out what I think is a very good commentary on the Tao. Just because my expertise is not the Tao, it's biblical thought. So I have to search out wisdom before I can bring it to you guys. Therefore, the tyrant does not die a natural death. I take this as my mentor. The tyrant does not die a natural death. Yet another good line. So, let us see what commentary says. Jewish space laser theology? Yes, absolutely, double D's. God has given the tribe much knowledge in the use of lasers and weather manipulation technology. The limit of compassion. This chapter consists of 3 parts that have little to do with one another. The first part talks about offerings, the second about a bellows, and the third about words. The division of the Tao Te Ching into 81 chapters was not done by its author, but introduced much later. So here I suspect that 3 separate sayings have been combined into one, although Lao Tzu did not intend it. The first part speaks of a ruthlessness that seems terrifying. The offerings that Lao Tzu mentions were straw dogs used in religious rituals and discarded afterwards. We have no doubt that nature treats all its components and creatures with such indifference, simply because it lacks awareness. Storms whip the forests, oceans chew on land, winter kills what summer nourished, and beast feeds on beast that feeds on beast. It's like a machine. Sir, you missed a great opportunity to say it's the circle of life and then start singing uh, Lion King tunes. But why should the sage do the same? Should we not be compassionate and do our utmost to save fellow men from pain and misfortune? Well, Lao Tzu probably refers to society as a whole. Like nature is a whole, too much concern for single individuals can bring mayhem on society. We should be like straw dogs in the sense that none is worth more than the survival of the society that contains us all. So the sage would not dream of harming society for the benefit of a few of its members. On the other hand, he would not hesitate to sacrifice a few for the need of all. To guarantee the survival of society, he would be prepared to offer almost all of its inhabitants. Anyone who is given the power to rule a nation would do the same. Actually, people demand it of their ruler. It's the very basis of any society. Nothing within it is worth sacrificing all of society for, and no price is too high. Hey, priestess. And no price is too high to save it from destruction. And we see that right with governments. They'll throw the people into fire like fodder to advance the cause of what they feel is the greater society. I don't know that I completely agree with that. That thought process. Let's see. It's funny, but sucks. The Mormons think indigenous are a lost tribe of Israel. These are facts. Yes, they do. We're not, of course, but we have been astronomers for tens of thousands of years. But y'all end up with the lasers. Oh, man. I laugh, but on the other hand, it is a sad thing, right? Indigenous folks have definitely gotten the short end of the stick in all of the Americas, by the way, not just the United States. This is not only the case in a crisis, but in everyday life as well. Individuals cannot demand to be treated better than what is good for the whole. On the other hand, there is no reason for making the citizens suffer more than what is needed for society to prevail. The most precious society is the one that needs the least sacrifice of its members. I like that. The most precious society is the one that needs the least sacrifice of its members. Procreation between heaven and earth. In the second part of the chapter, Lao Tzu marvels at the abundance of the world we live in. the space between heaven above our heads and earth below our feet. In this space, we move about freely, and there seems to be no end to what is brought forth in it. Countless generations of animals and vegetation, the cycles of the seasons, the splendor of sunrise and sunset, the phases of the moon. Everything moves and renews itself. The creatures feed on what grows from the earth. They breathe the sky and they multiply. The whole world is filled with tireless reproduction. It's as if the sky is a breath of life, its wind stirring the cornucopia that is earth. Third part, truth is silence. Lao Tzu seems aching to halt his writing, although he is only in the beginning of his book. Words and thoughts behind them may be clever, perhaps inspired, but still there can be enough of them. Then it's better to take it all in silently. We don't need to describe everything we experience or to express all that we learn. Words are mere shadows. If we focus on them, we may lose sight of the reality they try to imitate. Instead, we should trust that our inner stillness finds the way and makes us see the patterns in the constant bombardment of information that is our daily life. The word centered in my translation of this chapter is zhong. In Chinese, it means middle or center. It's used in the name for China, Zhonggua, or Zhonggua, the Middle Kingdom, which makes the word a strong symbol indeed for its people. The Chinese pictogram for the word is a simplification of an arrow hitting the center of a target. In Lao Tzu's use of the word, inner balance and steadfastness is implied, somewhat like the keel of a boat that's unaffected by the waves of the sea. That's how the human mind should be, calm in whatever turmoil surrounds it, confident even in a rain of urgent questions. The answers are to be found in that calm. I can agree with that. Once I get into the turmoil of an argument, my thoughts get jumbled and I get mad most of the time. So keeping calm in a situation like that is the best medicine, so you can answer a myriad questions confidently and accurately. Or if you don't know, say you don't know, instead of fighting for fighting's sake. So, okay, that's 4 and 5. We will get at least 6 tomorrow. These are supposed to be short. We're pushing up on 30 minutes. Got 11 great folks in here. So if you could please do that. Do all that. please. And thank you. I am earnestly trying to build this channel. It goes well beyond just getting up here and presenting. When you want to put a little study into it and get good information out. So thank you, Linda. So y'all be good. I will see y'all at 4 in about an hour and a half for some light-hearted stuff. Wait till my day, ass. What? I hope the newlyweds are doing well. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Glock Loaded. Joey Simpson. The Tao doesn't take sides, it accepts good and evil. Yeah, Glock. But yeah, please go back and listen. It's only 30 minutes. Get some stretching in, double D's. Cooking will do that to you. Those are oh my goodness. Those are great times, Joey. Enjoy all of them that you can get. That is for sure. All right. I will see you guys at 4. Hopefully. And I'll talk to y'all later.